So everyone should be able to see my slide, right? Yes. Jaden still not connected. Okay. We'll have to. I'll talk to him later. Okay, so let's run through now. Since you are having tests, all of you are having tests, I assume the same topic on plants and animals. I'm going to point out your main important key points. Okay, so I don't know if I can. Oh no. All right, your questions for this particular topic is actually quite simple. You need to basically, it's like a checklist. Okay, I don't know, Jaden is like not connected. Are you connected?
I think
Okay,
he's not here. I think he's not here.
He's not in here. He's here, but he's connecting to audio. I don't know what's wrong. Okay, your main point is now every topic has a checklist, or should I call it objectives that you need to know for that particular topic. If you actually are confident in all the checklist questions, you know when they ask a certain things, like for example, your big checklist would be this. What's the characteristics of a plant? Okay, if you know this, then yes, you cover this area, this category. Where can plants grow? If you know this, then you know what's where they are found, where they can grow, and how we classify them. If you know the different groups of plants, then yes, you are confident in this topic. So basically, how you classify them, there are many ways. Whether you can put them under flowering, non-flowering, water plants, land plants, or you can say reproduction by fruits, which is seeds, okay, or they reproduce by spores. Okay, so there are many different ways of classifying. So if you already, once this question is asked and you know all your answers keep popping up in your head, that means you know what this topic is about. All right, and of course the different parts of a plant. So this is the main checklist that you probably need to write in your notebook. Okay, all right, so that's on plants. I can actually see someone's background. Is that Jaden or what's that?
That's me, Jaden.
Whose background sound is that? Is that Rudran?
Oh, yep.
Oh, okay. Can I? Yeah, okay. Just mute yourself because I can hear all the background. All right. Okay, Jaden, I know you're shy or you're not ready, so whenever you're ready, you can turn on the camera. Okay, Jaden, if you can hear me, I would need to get a few information. Do you have tests coming up? Because everyone's having tests next week. Let me know when so that I can prepare some questions for you to practice and also what topic. Okay. Okay, make sure you have all your notebooks, right? So your checklist for plants, we're gonna run through quickly on your plants before I go on to the questions for this week. Okay, so we know they can make their own food. Basically, they are food producers and they have the basic needs of air, food, and water to survive. So even if the whole world run out of food, they can actually make their own food. They don't really need any other things. They are not carnivores. They just need to trap the sunlight and their own plants can produce food for themselves. Okay, now the benefits of plants, basically, I'm also going to highlight this. I'm trying to find a rate. Rate will be too bright. Never mind, but it's better. Okay, they basically food, shelter, medicines, and materials. They basically give us these benefits. They provide us with all of the above. Now, medicine comes in different forms. Some of them in China a long time ago, like I believe 6,000 over years ago, they have been practicing. They know what are the herbs to actually get from plants to actually help us to heal if we do have a wound or if we do have sickness or basically any ailments or illnesses. Some herbal plants can actually help to heal naturally. Okay, so not all, but there are also, of course, some that are harmful. All right, so just a quick one. Now, gardeners hate weeds. All right, they always compete with their plants or crops that they're growing for food. I mean for air and sunlight. Okay, so you don't want that weeds to be around because it's going to make their crops grow a lot smaller and not that healthily. Okay, they won't grow that healthily if they have competition around or their weeds growing all over them. Okay, so like I said earlier, the checklist, you will know where how do we classify plants, the different ways. So you got your land plants, water plants, okay, or you got flowering plants, non-flowering plants. So these are the main gist of it. I'm gonna highlight the main thing. Oops. Okay, so main thing here, you got land plants, water plants. All right, a classification, how you group them. Of course, flowering and non-flowering. You can draw that in your notebook. Write that down in your notebook. And then, okay, it just goes, basically, this is why I don't use this. Okay, so any other that, yeah, flowering, non-flowering, or you can also group them under basically reproduction by seeds or spores, but it's not that important. Normally it's just flowering or non-flowering, because flowering, it will be reproduction by seeds, and then non-flowering will be by spores because they don't have flowers. Okay, and then different plants. This one, I don't know if any one of you take the time or bother to copy, screenshot, and then print it out, cut it out, paste it on your notebook, color if you want to make your notebook look pretty, because this is the whole part of a plant. Okay, the picture is here. The whole part of the plant, there are basically only 5 parts you need to remember: leaf, fruit, roots, flower, and stem. Okay, so you need to know each of their function. This table, you can make it into a table. Okay, so you got your roots. They're usually underground and they are the one taking in water. Let's try a different one. Okay, so any basically roots, one very good example is your mangrove trees, because their roots are actually sticking out the water and you can see them very clearly. The other one, stem, they are the one that transport the water up to the plants after the roots have taken in. And not only that, sometimes they do some plants, they do have fruits growing underground, which they are called underground stem. So one example is onion. And we all eat onion in a lot of our times, right? I'm pretty sure you all have a lot of dishes that sometimes contains onion. And I think when you fry onion with eggs, that's the best. Very nice, fragrant smelling, very nice. I don't know if you all tried dish. I think that's a Chinese dish that we usually cook, simple and quick. I think the Chinese vegetable food store can easily find that onion and eggs, and it smells very nice as well. So I think your mom, if she knows how to cook, she'll probably usually this will be one of the dish that they home cook really quickly. Okay, leaves. The main 3 shapes, you got oval, heart, and palm. Okay, again, flowers, non-flowering or flowering. So under flowers, you got example hibiscus and azoria. Now, Singapore has, since I think 5 years now, if I'm not wrong, they have managed to kind of concoct a brand new, basically they mix one DNA, one species of an orchid with another original orchid, and they call it a hybrid orchid. So I forgot the name. It's a very mixed orchid plant now, which now becomes a Singapore iconic flower. So it looks like very, basically hybrid means you have different DNA, I would say 3 DNA or 2 DNA put into one plant, and they breed this plant, they grow this plant. So the flowers produced, it look very spidery like. I think it's a spider orchid if I'm not wrong. So it looks weird. It looks like there's 2 different colors, and then there's one at the bottom flower attached to the other one, which is not the usual original orchid flower. So it looks very, very hybrid. So very mutated. Not, I won't say mutated, but it does look nice. I guess all flowers are nice. I don't know, but now it becomes very huge. The flower is very huge. So it becomes a Singapore iconic flower now. You can go and Google. I think it's a spider orchid, the name, if I'm not wrong. Yeah. Okay, so under fruits, of course, you have poisonous and non-poisonous. or edible. Okay, I would say edible means you can eat. Now, pong is not edible, it's poisonous. The sap alone can cause your tongue, if I'm not wrong, to swell and itch. If I remember correctly, because a long time ago during my time, we actually study a lot more in detail of what the pong sap, the fruit juice itself in pong does to the tongue, and it causes your mouth to foam up and spit out white color foam or something. Okay, that's what happens when some animals, they don't know, they eat the pong fruit, and I'm not sure if it causes death, but I don't think they die. Either they got sick for a while, if they depends on how much they eat, and then they might recover. I'm not sure, but there are some fruits that can actually kill, which are really, really poisonous. Okay. So again, big questions now on animals. Now we have done with plant section. Any questions you want to ask on plants? Rudran, you're tested only on plants. What about animals? Will you be? No. Easy. Okay. Now, if you need water with you, do get a water, because when you're having a cough, you need to drink lots of water to clear off the phlegm. Okay. So if you only tested one part, I guess it's a small test. All right. If not, I'm going to go through animals. Those who are tested on animals, please feel free to ask me any questions. So when we talk about animals, this lesson today will be something special, because I'm going to introduce you something, a certain kind of category of animals, which you might or may not know. I don't know. Who has been to SeaWorld first? Anyone? I hope you have already. Your parents should have brought you there, because I already brought my 4-year-old to Singapore. Is it Underwater World or is it Sea Aquarium? I forgot the name, but it's the Water World, I think, just beside Universal Studio. Yeah, I brought her there already and she loved it. And I brought her to the zoo. So you guys should have gone multiple times. Okay. You will see different animals, not animals that you different sea animals. Okay, I would say. Now they all differ in size. They have land animals and sea animals, two different groups. And of course, each group, they have based on different categories, whether they are based on size, shape. Shape, we can't really say shape because there's so many different shapes, but I would say maybe their color. Again, there are so many different colors. Okay, so maybe a different category like tiger and cat is under cat family, so you can classify them under that. Okay, so anyway, you can choose what kind of ways you want to differentiate, put them under different categories. Okay, then the main thing is actually their body covering. Okay, most in general, they're animals that cover with fur. Okay, this is the main, maybe main thing you can take note. Hair, scales, feathers, shell, as their outer covering. The 4 main different types, and these 4 main different types, all the animals will fall under each of these groups. If basically hair, they are actually hair and fur will be considered under mammals. Scales will be under reptiles or even fishes, and feathers and will be under, basically birds will fall under feathers. Shell will be all those, oysters, tortoise, turtle, prawns, crab, lobsters, all these shell food that we eat. Okay, so they have those different kinds of way of category. So when you actually learn about encyclopedia of animals, it's a very wide topic to look into. Okay, so that's the table that you need to have in your notebook. You can copy and paste, screenshot, copy and paste, up to you. Or you can write and then put a picture, if you got a sticker of a bear or sticker of a fish or whichever, stick on it, and it makes it interesting to learn, you know what I mean? Okay, so also again, another different category. Remember I taught you last 2 lessons, recap: herbivores, carnivores, omnivores. Please use these keywords. Okay, herbivores eat plants only, carnivores eat animals only, and omnivores eat both plants and animals. Okay, so again, another group, 6 different types. Amphibians, they are the ones with the reptiles, with the reptilian scales and everything. They can be found both land and water. Birds with feathers. Fish with their scales, they have gills and fins for swimming. And your insects with only 6 legs with 3